The case of a father and daughter convicted of second-degree murder stands before the North Carolina Appeals Court, and a potential new trial now hangs in the balance.
In August of 2015, former FBI agent Tom Martins and his daughter Molly admitted killing her Irish-born husband, Jason Corbett, insisting they beat him in self-defense because Jason was choking Molly and threatening to kill her. 48 Hours correspondent Maureen Maher has that story.
No one who attended the 2011 wedding of Molly Martins to Jason Corbett could have imagined how their story together would end. Jason had been a 31-year-old widower with 2 small children in Limerick, Ireland, when he hired Tennessee-born Molly as an au pair. His sister, Tracy Lynch, says they quickly fell in love.
We started to see, a little glimpse of the old Jason coming back, that he was just, not so sad all the time.
After the wedding, the couple relocated to the U.S., settling in the suburbs of Winston-Salem with Jason's children. But as the years went by, things began to change, according to Molly's brother, Connor.
I definitely start to notice more verbal altercations and verbal abuse. Jason was yelling at Molly.
Jason started to talk about moving home. He wasn't happy.
County 911. My son-in-law got in a fight with my daughter. I intervened, and he's in bad shape. We need help.
What do you mean he's in bad shape? He's hurt?
He's bleeding all over, and I may have killed him.
Just hours after they beat Jason to death, Molly and Tom told investigators they acted in self-defense.
He's got Molly by the throat, like this.
I was screaming help, and he was screaming, I'm going to kill you.
The Martins didn't just murder Jason. They tried to destroy his character, the person who he actually was.
Father and daughter went on trial in August 2017. They were found guilty and sentenced to 20 to 25 years in prison. But the case was immediately placed in jeopardy when the jury foreman said this while leaving the courthouse.
We didn't discuss a verdict, but in having private conversations, we could read that everybody was going in the same direction.
The defense has based its appeal in part on what it says is jury misconduct, discussing the case prior to deliberations.
A juror is confessing on the courthouse steps, not even an hour after the verdict, that they engaged in private conversations.
There is always another step, or there is always something else to face, and I remain resolute and confident.
48 Hours correspondent Maureen Maher is with us now. When I heard the bite from the jury member, I've never been on a jury, and I know that the instructions always say you are not to have private conversations. You will deliberate as a group. What was he thinking, and could this lead to a new trial?
It certainly could, because every day the judge says you're not to have private conversations. You are not to discuss it even in a group. And in most cases, the notebooks and the notes that the jurors take are put into a sealed envelope every night when they come back in. They don't even usually take them home. So it certainly could. But there are other issues when it comes to this trial. They really, right from the moment the verdict was read, as most defense lawyers would be writing up what could be for appeal, there are some legitimate issues at play here.
So the foreman's statement is not the only subject of this appeal?
No, it's not. So the kids, Jason's children, were interviewed a few days after his death, and they seem to corroborate Molly's statement that there was abuse in the house. And the defense never was able to get those admitted. The trial judge would not allow it, but the trial judge would also not allow a statement that Jason's son gave 9 months later recanting the accusation of Molly saying that his father was abusive. So, of course, both families are saying that each other's statements were coached. And I believe that's probably why the trial judge said, we're just not going to put any of it into play, because the situation in that bedroom was so significant. They didn't even discuss motive. They didn't discuss premeditation, nothing. They just went with really the condition of Jason's body.
Well, the images that you showed us were pretty disturbing. I can't imagine what he looked like. This has got to really be doing a number on both of the families, but especially the family, his family that's over in another country. Also, I'm curious about his children. Where are they?
So they're in Ireland, and they end up being with his sister, the woman you saw, Tracy Lynch, and we met them when we were over in Ireland and spent some time with them. Lovely children. They were very close with the Irish family. Even when Jason and Molly moved back to the States, the Irish family would come in groups, and they would come for a week at a time, and it's a big Irish family. and they would stay, you know, for a week or two. So the kids were very familiar with them. And Tracy had been listed as the legal guardian since Jason's first wife had died.
Appeals, when you have convictions, almost seem a given, but does this seem to be something that might actually work?
Well, I think one of the telltale signs is that the appellate court took oral arguments, and that's not common.
Yeah.
Usually they'll read it and then give a written statement afterwards, a written judgment, but they called them in and said, let's hear what you have to say, both sides.
All right, Maureen, thank you.
We'll be watching.
That's great,
Thank you.
Watch Maureen Maher's full report on 48 Hours tomorrow night at 10, 9 Central, only on CBS.